All right, so more relationship advice. When either of you are going through heightened negative emotions, don't try and talk any logical sense because when you're full of negative emotions, you're full of kind of like destructive energy. So even if you try and put logic in there, the other person that's going through negative emotion, whether it be them or you, will try and kind of just tear down the logic or not respond well to it. So my girlfriend was angry that she had to ask me to come visit her when her dog died. He's dead, and I'm at the airport. And I'd already booked a ticket to go see her in like 2 weeks. And this is even before I knew the dog was gonna die, obviously. Um, and if you haven't seen my previous videos, I didn't know that this was a big deal because through my entire time of knowing this dog, I spent a ton of time doing research to help alleviate a lot of his ailments, like his chronic asthma, where he was taking inhalers twice a day down to twice a week, and where he had this really aggressive cancer where the vet said even if they operated on it, there's a 90% chance it's going to come back in a couple of months. And I did a lot of research and found some nutrients and stuff to and gave it to him, to the point where up until the time of his death, the dog is Benjamin, up until the time of Benjamin's death, the cancer was still undetected up to that point. All right. So, you know, she got mad and was like, why do I have to ask you to come visit me? You know, because, you know, her dog is dead. And in my mind, I wasn't sure. And I was kind of wanting to say, well, because I don't know what you want. So if you ask, it lets me know. But instead, I just bought the first flight out to a different state to go see her. I know, like, but she's been up for several hours at this point, probably like 24 or something like that, trying to look after the last moments of this dog, and been crying and crying. And I knew there's a good likelihood by the time I go to see her, she's probably gonna be asleep, and I'm gonna have to sleep in the airport, which ended up being true. She's asleep. I tried to reach out to her. She didn't respond. Totally fine. One of the things about relationships is sometimes in these moments, you just need to let them know that you will be there for them. Whether it's what's being done is logical or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you calm them by letting them know that you hear them, you understand them, and you're willing to be there for them regardless if the situation is logical or not. And a lot of times, from my experience, just her knowing that things are being taken care of and that things will be okay allows her to sleep. I think, and also this is from previous experience, if I didn't make the effort to come down to see her, she'd still be awake right now. So it's one of those catch-22 situations. She'd be awake, she'd be worried, she'd be anxious. But because I booked a flight to come and be with her, it helped alleviate her of the cortisol and the stress of the situation. And she was able to probably cry and then fall asleep. And now I'm here, and at least she knows I'm here and that I came, even though I'm ending up having to sleep in the airport waiting for her in the morning. And that's totally fine. In relationships, you have to come to terms that these situations will come up where it may seem like a losing situation for you, but that's not how it really is. What it is you showing that you're willing to be there and that you care, and that gives them a peace of mind, and that's what matters most. So I could have been frustrated with this situation, but I actually came into this situation knowing exactly how this was going to play out. I knew that she was going to be asleep by the time I got here, and I knew, yeah, I could have booked a flight the next day and arrived at an earlier time the next day, but I also knew that if I did that, that she would still be full of anxiousness and worry and sadness, and she would not be able to sleep. So that's another really important relationship tip, is sometimes you got to be okay with doing something that makes absolutely no logistical or logical sense, just to show them that you care about them.